How's it going, Renegades? It's Coach Pat again, and just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're getting excited for the turkey like me. Today we're going to take a quick look at two Renegades. Jess is in the foreground, and Lynn is right behind her. We'll take a look. This is 10 strokes of them rowing at the Renegade Rowing League in the first heat this past Saturday. So what we're going to focus on today is this idea of connection. It's one skill that I always come back to, and it's the third in the three of the fundamental skills that I like to coach and introduce new rowers to. So that was at full speed. Let's take a look at half speed. Jess is in the foreground, as I said, in the pink shirt, and she's a mother of two. Like Lynn, she's on the shorter side, unfortunately, for rowing, but what's awesome about Jess and Lynn is that they have very good strength to body weight ratio. So if we can learn to take that strength and that physical fitness and athletic ability they have in the gym and give them a nice, powerful, efficient stroke, they should be able to hit the splits they want and continually push on their erg and get PRs. So that was half speed. Let's take one more look at quarter speed. Lynn is in the background. She's in the blue tank top, and she is a warrior. Actually, that's her nickname. But she's a warrior because she likes the Spartan race, and she actually has done the Spartan trifecta this past year, and she's looking forward to improve her times going forward for next year. So her goal this winter is to improve her rowing, and in doing that, stay in shape and be ready for the Spartan races next year. But when I first watched this video at quarter speed, the first thing I really noticed was, when do Lynn and Jess get connected to the erg? So overall, they have pretty smooth strokes. They get the idea of posture, control, and connection. They can demonstrate good sequence and good form in rowing at different stroke ratings. They're both at about a 30 to 32 stroke rating here at race pace, full pressure for their 2K. This is about mid-race, so they're starting to feel it. And mentally, it's getting tough to maintain good form and keep the posture and the control and the connection that we're always looking for. But we're going to use this as a way to see what good connection is. So when I first coach connection, the two things I'm focused on are the connection between the hips and the hands. So if we take a look at Jess's hips and her hands, are they moving together into and out of the catch? And for the most part, they are. She has very decent connection with her body. So they're fairly connected and moving together. Now, once you can figure out how to keep your hips and your hands connected, the next thing is, how do you connect your body to the system that you're operating in, and that is the body and the erg. So how do you connect your hips, your hands, to the flywheel, into that chain, so that all the work that you do with your legs, your body, and your arms goes into that handle, into that chain, and makes that fan, that wheel, spin faster. So what you can see with both Lynn and Jess is where their chains are connected. I'm going to pause it here. We'll get rid of the circles for now. We're going to take it through, and you can tell by the chains, when they're nice and tight, there's good tension, there's no slack in the chains, they're connected. So right here, Jess is connected. We'll draw a green line right along her chain, just so we can kind of see that tension. And then Lynn's a split second or so behind her. Lynn is connected right about here, where her hands are no longer going up or down. So we'll draw her line right there. So there's Lynn's connection. So if we take this through at 1/8 speed, and let's rewind it. Let's bring it back before that stroke started. We'll play it through one stroke and just watch what happens with their hands. So right now, both of them are feeling fatigued, so they're letting their upper backs go, and you can kind of see that with Jess here in the foreground. They're just kind of they're coming into the catch, and they're feeling a little fatigued, a little tired, and they let their upper backs go. And at the same time, they're letting their hands drop towards their toes. And when they go to connect to the machine at the front end here and take that stroke, what has to happen first is they have to re-engage their upper back muscles, their lats, their shoulders, their elbows. They have to get connected to the erg, essentially. And what you're going to see happen is when I play this, their handles are going to first have to rise up, and then as they rise to the optimal height, so they're in line more or less with the bottom of their scapulas, right where their lats engage, you'll see them get connected and even with those green lines. So let's just watch Jess's hands come up. Now she's connected, and there she is. And let's watch Lynn on the next stroke. We can kind of see where Lynn finds connection. So as they both come into the catch here, handles drop, upper backs are kind of let loose. Lynn tries to connect. Oh, there she's connected now. So what's happening is they're not connected probably within the first third of their stroke. So I'll pause it and we'll bring it back. Those last two strokes were great examples. So if we take a look at Jess's catch, so here's her catch. Her shins are just a little over compressed, but that's her catch. That's where her shins are. We'll take a look at where her handle is and where her hips are. Let's play it through. She's connected a little bit further, right there. So the chain's nice and taut. She's connected there. And you can see, let's make this a red line here, that her handle is now back here, and her hips are now back here. So that's about the same distance in terms of her hips and her hands. So what's really good about this is that she's kept her hips and her hands connected. And you can see that if you look at the distance between where her hands were at the catch and where they are now, which is about half slide. She's about half slide now. That distance is relatively the same. Her hands moved a little bit more because she started to open up her back and her arms, which is fine. That's what's supposed to happen. But you can see how much distance she's lost. So now she's fully connected. She has her hamstrings engaged, her quads are engaged, her feet are connected to footboards, her torso is braced. There's tension through her lats and her arms, and she's actively pushing the machine away and making that fan move faster from this point forward. She's increasing the speed of that fan and keeping the split where she wants it. Now, what we want to try and create for both Lynn and Jess is an opportunity for them to get more of that power. So 60% of our power in rowing comes from our legs. And right now, Jess and Lynn are missing about half of their slide, half of their leg drive. So from here to here, all the work that they did with their legs hasn't been as efficient as possible. They haven't really picked up the tension and the pressure on that chain and on that flywheel to spin that wheel faster. So if we can get more connected from the catch back to half slide in terms of their connection to the machine, they'll be able to get more of that power from their legs into the handle. Right now they're losing about half of their leg drive, half of the power from their legs, just in the first half of the stroke because they're not connecting to the machine. So a couple different things play into how they do that. Let's get rid of a few lines here. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one, that one. So at the front end of their stroke, 3 things they need to improve upon, right? The 3 skills. Posture. So overall, posture is not terrible, but that upper back is just sort of collapsed. If we can think about showing their chest to the monitor and pulling those shoulder blades back and down just a little bit more, having a little more upright posture, and just be in a stronger position so they're not so collapsed at the front end here, then, you know, and that's sort of what we're looking for, just for their shoulder to maybe come up to there, or at least parallel to that, and, you know, get that stronger posture. What that's going to do is it's going to get them more connection to the machine and to the flywheel right away in the front end. They'll have an easier time of just suspending and catching with their hips versus having to find it with their body and their arms. So number 2, in addition to posture, is control. And we can talk about slide control, which we do a lot. So controlling how fast their seat moves towards the catch, which we can see here on this stroke. So as they come forward, is their seat accelerating towards the catch, or is it decelerating, or is it staying consistent? I'd like to see that seat stay consistent as it rolls forward, or maybe even slow down a little bit as it approaches the catch. So that's control, one part of control we can talk about. But the second thing I'm going to ask them to improve is their handle height control. So making sure that, you know, as they take this stroke and they have a nice strong finish, if we pause it here, right at the finish, so Jess is pulling right into the bottom of the sports bra, all right, the ideal finish position on her body. If you look at her chain a second ago, it was nice and taut. It's coming in right along this piece of black tape right here. So that chain is going in and out of that gate at that black tape. We want to keep her hands, all right, her handle height, along that line. And we want that chain to stay traveling in and out of the gate at the height of that black tape, whether she's on the drive or the recovery. What she'll see as she finishes the stroke, and especially, so she has it here, she's good, she's good, she's good, but past this point, right as her hands come over her knees, many novice rowers or people that are having trouble getting connected, both in the boat, you know, whether you're skying your blade or not, or on the erg, tend to drop their hands along their shins here, and it's much harder to find that connection to the machine. So you'll see her hands continue to drop, and that chain continue to go down below that black tape. And it's not until that chain comes back up in line with that black tape that she's connected to the machine, her body's connected, and she's getting all the power out of her legs and her body. So that's number 2. Control your handle heights. Keep the hands nice and level on that straight line from the finish right here all the way back up to the catch. And that'll make the catch a little bit easier to time and stay connected with, and get more power out of those legs. We'll bring it back. And number 3 would be suspension. So suspension is something that we've been working on as she gets better at keeping that posture and keeping her hands up as she comes into the catch. And keep in mind, these things that I'm asking Jess to improve upon are the same things I want Lynn to improve upon. They both need to work on the same things. Number 3 would be suspension. So once she can find better posture, right, we'll circle a couple of things. Get rid of some of these lines, just clear all. Once she can find better posture as she approaches the catch, and she can maintain that solid, strong posture all the way through her stroke, And once she can keep her handle height level and in line with that black piece of tape on the gate all the way through her stroke, both at the catch and at the finish, as well as while she moves through the recovery and the drive, then she'll be able to get better suspension. And we'll see that when she's rowing in how she engages her legs, and you'll see her become slightly weightless off of her seat. And that's something that she can feel. She can feel that weightlessness off her seat as she drives. She wants to keep it horizontal, but that suspension is going to let her use all of her body weight to get more out of her stroke and be more powerful and be more efficient. So those are 3 things. Let's play it at a quarter speed. So number 1, we can focus on posture. That's something that we can control quite readily. We'll work on that. Bigger chest, keeping the shoulders back and down the whole time. All right. Number 2, controlling the handle heights as you come into the catch, keeping those hands up. That'll be a big difference. And then with that newfound posture and control, getting connected to the erg right at the catch, right with the legs, and not having to find the tension on the chain halfway through the drive. That way we get everything out of our legs, everything out of our hips and our body, and then everything out of our arms. And same thing for Lynn on the back side of Jess there. You see Lynn coming up the recovery here. Lynn and Jess could both get their arms away a little bit sooner and get their bodies over a little bit earlier. That will help as well. But for now, I just want them to really focus on getting their bodies prepared with better posture and maintaining that posture through the stroke, controlling their handle heights more consistently, especially as they approach the catch, and then trying to find that suspension by connecting to the erg sooner in their leg drive. So hopefully you guys are able to see a few of those things. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to post the comments or shoot me an email. I'd be happy to go over this some more and find some better video if I need to. But yeah, have a great Thanksgiving. Jess and Lynn, keep at it. You guys are crushing it. We're going to get there by March 1st. And have fun. Good luck working on this stuff. All right, bye.